Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is $3 Theater. And Game of Thrones Season 8 is now over. The show is done. We can finally put all the hoopla of Season 8 behind us. I personally liked it. You may not have liked it, but apparently, when it comes to the craziness that surrounded Season 8 and the conversations, at least somewhat online, George R.R. Martin was not necessarily a fan. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. But first, if you guys like the channel, if you guys like what I do here on $3 Theater and you want to help support it, patreon.com/Matt Jarbo is a fantastic way to do it. $1 a month really actually goes a fair distance for what I need, and that would be fantastic. I greatly appreciate your guys' support, and that's just my pitch for this. Anyway, back over to what George R.R. Martin says. The internet fan culture has spiraled into madness. And if you ever look at a lot of internet fan culture here on YouTube, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm trying to say here. There is a lot of people out there that take this shit a little bit too damn far. And, I've seen people, look, I'll be real. I've criticized Captain Marvel. I've criticized a lot of things that I've seen that I didn't like, but I've never told a celebrity to shut their mouth and then suck a D, which is exactly what I've seen come out of a couple people dropping the C-bomb. I mean, it's like, okay. Like, I get it. You don't like this person, but like now you're going super personal on this. You don't know them. Like, that's how crazy it gets because people get super into it. And look, I'll be honest with you. People get super into it too because they know that it gets a reaction, and that reaction oftentimes returns with money. And that is something that does need to be discussed at some point, but maybe not right now. But let's see what George R.R. Martin has to say, shall we? All right, so Game of Thrones creator George R.R. Martin thinks the internet has changed the way fans express themselves, and what they have to say can sometimes be toxic. I think as I just evidenced, yeah, some people can say some stuff that's pretty toxic. An author, the author of the Song of Ice and Fire books, addressed Fan Culture Friday on film critic Leonard Maltin's 90 Minutes Maltin on Movies podcast. Martin and Maltin both got their start writing fanzines in the pre-internet era, and the two discussed how the internet has given fans a bigger voice, although Martin said far too often, the conversations can spiral into madness, which I do absolutely agree with. And I'm not saying I've never contributed to that. I'm not saying I'm never going to contribute to that again. I can only really speak for myself, but I do try to like look at the grander abstract when I make those videos. People have criticized me heavily on this channel for like criticizing Captain Marvel. Like, you'd be amazed if I do a Captain Marvel video, even if it's not necessarily about Captain Marvel and I'm just referencing it in passing. Oh man, it gets brought up like, you're talking about it again. Like, not 100%, but I can see your criticism and why you might think that. It says here that the internet is toxic in a way that the old fanzine culture and fandoms, comic fans, science fiction fans in those days, was not. There were disagreements, there were feuds, but nothing like the madness that you see on the internet, which is true. The internet has given everyone a voice, and it's also exposed that a lot of people are just straight assholes. They are. I don't think anyone out there is gonna really fault me on that one or fight me on that one. There are a lot of people out there that are just straight up jerks for no other reason than just to be straight up jerks. And that is how they choose to approach this. And in the internet age, that can go a long way. Martin and Game of Thrones showrunners D.B. Weiss and David Benioff got a glimpse of those modern day disagreements during the show's 8th and final season. Like, I think people really over criticize that show. Passionate fans criticized the writing and the ending of the series, which some said felt rushed. More than 1 million people signed a petition demanding HBO remake the final season. And I love that they qualify that they actually qualify that by stating here that, that's not going to happen. If I could get that to select. Anyway, it doesn't really matter at this point. Come on, there we go. Like, that's not, whatever. Stupid Windows. They say that here. Anyway, it says here that the scale of Game of Thrones success, reaching all over the world and invading culture to such an extent, is not something anyone could ever anticipate, not something I ever expect to experience again. He called it a little surreal, which it was. I mean, the thing is, yeah, George R.R. Martin, I don't think he realized that Game of Thrones as a whole was going to become as big as it did. I don't think anyone at HBO anticipated it was going to become as big as it did. I don't think anyone out there knew that it was going to do this. And I think when Dan and Dave said they wanted to do 7 seasons, even they didn't know if they could wrap it up. And then they clearly proved to some extent that they should have probably asked for more time. I'm happy with the way that it ended. But a lot of people out there aren't. And I think a lot of people there have some valid criticisms. But again, when it comes to the online culture, the more impassioned you are, the more people view it as being a realistic approach. When there are people I know personally that will overhype something because they know that it gets traction on the internet, and they just want to play those analytics, and they play it till they can't play it anymore simply because it earns them a paycheck. And that's the game they want to play, and that's fine. I just find it to be super, super, super freaking disingenuous, if you want my honest opinion. I do. I think people, if you want to get into internet fan culture, cool. You want to talk about what you like, cool. But if you play outrage for clicks, I have a problem with that. And there are people that I know who do that personally, and I have told them this personally. I have told them that I'm not fans of the way that their channel is gone. And the response back, and I'm not even kidding you, was, I got to pay the bill somehow. Not even kidding you. So take that for what you will. But I do agree with George here that that it's become a little bit too it's gone into madness, 100%. And who knows what the next thing's going to be, right? Who knows what the next big thing's going to be? What's going to be is it going to be episode 9? Is it going to be Star Trek Discovery season 3, which I think is hate watched now by more people than who actually enjoy watching it. So, okay, again, it's one of those factors. So I know this is my thoughts on this one. I clearly have a different view of it than a lot of you guys who might be watching from home, because I have inside information about other channels and how things work with this side of the internet. So my perception of it is clearly going to be a little bit different. I'm not saying don't like something, that you're wrong if you don't like it. 100%, you can like what you like, not like what you don't like. There's a lot of things out there that people give me crap over for liking. There are things people give me crap over for not liking. Like, for example, I really hate the movie Juno. I thought it was terrible. I thought it was god awful. Right? People out there go, well, you don't need to, oh my God, what are you talking about? But then again, I like movies like Star Trek Into Darkness. I enjoyed that quite a bit. I really liked Dark Phoenix. I really liked Hellboy. And trust me, people give me enough shit for that one too. Anyway, your thoughts, your opinions. I think the comments on this one are going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to reading them, and I will do my very best to respond. Have yourself a great night, guys, and peace out.